What is Whiz? What up, internet world? It's your boy Jermaine back with another video. So in this video, I'm going to talk about Whiz bike rental and why Whiz is pretty dang cool. So here we have it. Whiz is a bike company that rents e-bikes. They just recently had a grand opening here in San Francisco. I went to the grand opening. It was a lot of bikes, a lot of bike parts. You know, I had to get me a phone holder for my bike because when I picked up the bike, for some reason, I did not get a phone holder. So I was able to get a phone holder. It was pretty cool. So you can go in and you can buy a bike if you want, or you could rent a bike. It's a little bit better to rent a bike. Also, there are a handful of perks that come with renting a bike through Whiz. For example, if you need someone to work on your bike, or if you have a flat, you can easily take it to Whiz and they can get your bike working for you, you know, especially for something quite simple like a flat, you know, and they'll have you in and out pretty fast. Now, one problem I've had before with other electric bikes that I've bought, like off of the internet, I would basically buy the bike, ride the bike around, and then I would have some sort of problem and I would just try to take it to like a regular bike shop or like a bike shop like that's right down the street or something. And the bike shop would always not be interested in working on an electric bike. They would always, you know, say something like, oh, they start fires or something like that. We don't like to work on electric bikes. And if you get a bike through Whiz, you don't really have to go through that because, you know, you bought it from them. They know about the bike and they probably can change the, you know, tire on the bike without causing a fire, right? So that's one cool thing about Whiz. Also, these bikes have a GPS tracking device, right? So if you are renting a bike and you're worrying about, you know, what if someone takes it? So it does have a GPS in it. Now, if someone takes it, you might have to pay some money. So they do have a protection plan if that's something that you are interested in. So you might want to check out, you know, the protection plan. I would say, you know, definitely have more than one lock. This is one lock that you can buy from Whiz, but I like to have two locks just in case, you know, you lock up your bike and, you know, you're in a place you know that you're going to be in for like an hour or 2 hours. You might want a little bit more extra security. And then when you're doing deliveries and you know that you're just popping into the restaurant really fast for 60 seconds and popping right back out, you might just want to, you know, just use one lock when you know, go in and out like that. So it's pretty nice to have two locks for this bike. Now, the bike that Whiz is offering here in San Francisco is the Ehora Juliet. This is the bike behind me, the one that I've been riding on. And I must admit, this is a really great bike for San Francisco just because of the range. If you want to rent one of these, this is about, I think it's $199 per month. You might want to check. I don't know when you guys see this video because, you know, prices change all the time. And I heard that they're about to get a new bike coming in soon. So you might want to check out and see what new bike they come out with. Now, the thing about this bike that's really great is this bike has a really, really big battery. This battery weighs about 26 pounds. You can go about 100 to 120 miles on one charge, and that's using just throttle. And you might wonder, like, why 100 to 120 miles? Well, the reason why I say that, if you're riding around San Francisco, some days you might go up more hills, and some days you might, it might be more windier. Some days you might run on flat surfaces and stuff like that. Over the course of years living in San Francisco, I've done a lot of delivery jobs and working for many different apps. And there are days where I have ridden a bike 80 miles in one day. And that day was mainly flat, okay? And it wasn't that windy. And there also have been days where I've ridden, you know, 60 miles and it was windy and it's going up crazy hills. And yeah, you know, the range is going to fluctuate if it's windy outside or if you're going up a lot of hills. With this bike, if it's windy outside and you're going up big hills, it seems like it's not a match for this battery. You know, this is a big battery on this bike and it seems like you can just go. When I go out and do deliveries on this bike, I usually charge the bike and then I do, you know, evening shift. And then I'll take the bike home the night and don't charge it. And then the next day, I'll go out and ride, you know, maybe a dinner shift or an afternoon shift. So I could pretty much get 2 days of charging on this bike in the city. And that's pretty game changer if you know, want to do deliveries in the city. When you get a bike through Whiz, you can't go more than 20 miles an hour, okay? Um, they have the bike set so you can't like go faster, right? And if you could go faster, you could definitely go through more battery, and you can also go longer distances in a quicker time frame, right? Because you know, if you're going 20 miles an hour and you're trying to go 20 miles, it's going to take you 1 hour to get there. But if you are going 30 miles an hour, you can get there in half the time, right? Because you're going like 50% faster. Now, if you decide to pick up a e-bike from Whiz, a couple things I should tell you right off the bat. If you want a basket, you should get a basket, because these baskets, I believe the basket was like $11. And if you want to get a phone stand, get a phone stand, because they're great. Like, the basket is great. If you're doing deliveries, you can, you know, put the delivery bag right in. If you're going to like Safeway and stuff like that and you're getting like a whole bunch of heavy bags, you can just stack up the bags in this, you know, basket here. It's a decent basket. It's great. I would say, you know, definitely grab one. Now, who exactly are Whiz bikes for? Whiz bikes are great for a delivery worker. However, if you don't work for deliveries and you still want a Whiz bike, because let's just face it, having a car in the city is expensive. And if you don't have a car in the city, you probably are taking Uber or you're taking the bus. The bus just takes a long time. The bus is kind of cheap. Uber is much faster, but Uber costs more money. You can rent one of these from Whiz for $200 a month, and you can get around. That's like, what, $50 a week, and you can get around the city. So you could be a delivery person that's working for DoorDash and Uber Eats, and you're pushing Grubhub at the same time. Or you could be someone who you don't work for any delivery apps. You have a job downtown, but every morning you wake up, you have to wait for the bus. And once you get on the bus is like packed full of people, right? And the bus stops at every stop going downtown. And then 30 minutes after that, you get off of the bus and then you walk, you know, a couple more blocks and you're at your office. Well, you could totally, completely change your commute with a Whiz rental. I mean, you could get one of these bikes, and in the mornings, instead of waiting at that bus stop for, you know, 10 minutes and then you got to get on that packed bus full of sardines, people all on the bus like this, you can hop on your Whiz bike and shoot all the way downtown and be there in 10 minutes, you know? Otherwise, you can sit on the bus for 30, you know, and then, you know, packed bus. It might be hot in the summertime. Usually it's cold. Now, Whiz does have a purchase to own option, and then Whiz also has, you know, you can just rent the bike, or with some bikes, you can just straight up buy the bike. Now, I would imagine most people would probably rent the bike, especially a bike like this. Maybe you are interested in the bike, but you've never ridden one. So maybe you want to rent one for a month or two, see how you like it. Because I'm telling you, it's a game changer. Just the other day, I was took the bike on to Treasure Island on the ferry, and then went all the way around the bay. So what I mean by went all the way around the bay is I went from Treasure Island on the Bay Bridge in the bike lane to Emeryville, from Emeryville all the way to Richmond, and then took the Richmond Bridge on the bike lane, went all the way to North Bay, right? Rode all the way to Sausalito. And then from Sausalito, we took Golden Gate Bridge in the bike lane all the way back to the city. And then we went over to Baker Beach after that, you know? So it was a nice ride. I think it was like 60, it was around 60 miles. I can't remember if it was 62 or 60 or 58 or something like that. Because I've had a couple days where I've been out filming on this bike and I've hit close to like 50 to 60 miles before I'm just kind of like tired, you know? But these are like long rides where I am just basically riding for like 2 hours straight, and then I take a break, and then I'm riding another hour straight, and then I take a break. You know, I was just out just testing the bike, just seeing what it can do. And after that long ride of going around the city, I had 50% left on the battery, which was just insane. So on the flip side, if you're using a bike like this for deliveries, I mean, riding 50 miles in a day is actually, it's quite a bit. I mean, you could totally do it, but yeah, 50 miles in a day, it had me tired, you know? I'm just like, you know, so much sun in my face. But once again, you can experience this with a Whiz bike rental. I mean, these are great bikes. If you are in other cities like New York and Chicago, Whiz definitely have bikes out there too. In New York, they actually have some different bikes. I kind of like, there was one bike in New York I really like, but they don't offer it in SF. But because of the range, basically. You need long range out here in SF. On the flip side, I love my Whiz bike. It's a great little pusher. You know, it's something you can ride, get around the city on. But for now, I'm gonna wrap this video up. If y'all want to check out one of these bikes, rent one from Whiz, I will have a link down in the description below. You can definitely check it out. But for now, I'll see y'all later. Like, comment, subscribe. Thanks a lot for watching it. Peace out, yo. Ow!